Uh, I will discuss in the two different components. First, basic fundamentals, and thereafter some research insights, so that if there are some undergraduate students, they can be able to understand about the basic fundamental, and thereafter the research also, because the people who are working at the master level or PhD level, or who are the supervising the students, will be benefited with this research also, and may plan their research in future. So before starting, I would like to share my screen. Is the screen visible with presentation? Is this visible? Screen, my
Yes,
screen.
sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay, fine. Thank you. So the topic is basically a soilless farming system, and considering the future need of food and nutrition, this area is going to be advanced, or you can say modified in different way. That few modification we will discuss here. So overview will be the basic about hydroponics. What are the benefits? What research work that has been done? That research work related to our student basically, and there are some advancement by integrating hydroponics with the vertical farming system and artificial full spectrum lights. So that will be, so question is that why this topic came into existence. This is the main reason. We know that enhancing land area is really a very big challenge in the growing population. So why not we should find out some important techniques that will help us to grow crops in a very small area. Even the urbanization has resulted in the fragmentation of lands, fragmentation of a space available to each and every one, where hydroponics can be better for the cultivation practices. So, considering this, all this technology is going to be very much important. Although it is originated, it came into existence in very late. And so you can see that the first time it was in 1929 when it was first time uh, came into picture, and the work that was published in 1937. So you can see that how this system had come to exist uh, in the very later stage. And if we will consider in Indian condition, then it was also quite later than this. So basically, it is simply we can say it is a soilless cultivation. So based on that, uh, we know that if we are not taking soil, then what we have to take for growing the crops. So for that purpose, there are two different categories based on the media. One is whether we are growing crop directly under the water, or we are using water as a mist, or we are using running water, or we are either in form of recirculating or non-recirculating type, or we are going for the media based also. Hence, it is a very broader term, soilless cultivation, where uh, media is being only used instead of soil. Means other than soil, the growing media like perlite, vermiculite, peat moss. So these all can be utilized. So this all together can be a soilless cultivation because we are not using soil. So when it comes to the water, then it becomes a specific terminology that is called as hydroponics. So the major concern that is taken care during this hydroponic cultivation is utilization of macro and micro elements, because we know that one limitation of the hydroponics is buffering capacity is being reduced, because we don't have a soil which is having very vast buffering capacity. The second, reserve nutrition. Soil, although lesser, but it is having reserve nutrition which is not available into the hydroponic system. So the managing nutrients is very much important and integral part of the hydroponic system. this all can be mixed properly under the hydroponic uh, system by using the tanks for the stock preparing stock solution dilution and further transfer to the hydroponic system. Basically, uh, many people have advocated about it is better to take the saline water if crop prefers that. And there are certain crops which prefer salinity condition, tomato, cucumber, lettuce. So you can see that if why people have advocated about the saline water to reduce the water consumption. Saline water, so it will really the water that will be available uh, into the hydroponic system will have relatively more, or you can say higher salt concentration. So there will be lesser transfer of water to the plants, although plant root is completely suspended into the water body. Because these plants can resist to the lesser water availability. At the same time, there has been another important aspect that have been reported that this cucumber or tomato have been reported to be more sweeter in saline water if hydroponic system is being having salinity, higher salinity relatively. So, because of better sugar to organic acid ratio. So this is another important point. And further, if salinity is there, so it enhance the tolerance against the zinc and copper. So that factors are reason behind the advocating certain for the certain crops to use salinity, high salt concentration instead of using a normal neutral water or nutrient solution. So this is one. The important thing is, yes, the recycling is very much important of the nutrient solution. Once it is being utilized, it is being replenished, and after replenishing, it can be further transferred to the system. The atmosphere under the protected condition is again very much important. If you are growing, you are taking hydroponic system under the protected condition, which is preferably taken. So carbon dioxide concentration is one of the important component, and by enhancing the carbon dioxide concentration, the people have reported to enhance the uh, productivity of crops, either lettuce, cucumber, tomato, or whatever crops are there basically. The another important thing, growing media, which is very much matter of concern because of the water absorbing capacity is very much important. We use completely water as a growing media, not nutrient solution as a growing media, not at all any kind of like coco peat or perlite, vermiculite. So at that time, water is being directly available to the plant root system. But in these cases, the important thing is that the water is not being regularly provided to the plants. There is a certain phase when as per the crop demand, we go for the uh, uh, we stop the circulation of water through the hydroponic system. So in that case, what we should prefer to have a growing media which should have a better water absorbing capacity, water holding capacity, and so can even the water is drained out, then the crop will have sufficient moisture for longer period of time. So there are different medias everywhere it is available and having different characteristics. Either you are using coco peat or you are using expanded clay pellets or you are using perlite, vermiculite, rock wool, grow stone, rice hulls. Because of the wastage now it is being more preferably used for the uh, hydroponic cultivation. The challenge only is the water retention capacity is relatively uh, well, it is having a relatively lower in terms of amount. It can hold for a longer period of time, but the amount or content is relatively always low. You can use the mixture of sand, gravel, vermiculite at all. So these different medias can be utilized. Research work are being also carried out on the utilization of various uh, plant waste materials for the purpose of using it as a growing media. So this is also being in the current time is being under the research. So different kind of plants can be grown under the hydroponic conditions. Either it is soilless in terms of growing media or in terms of water based. So you can use bags, you can use containers to grow these plants. You can practice different things at your home as well. You can go up to the mist level of water, that is aeroponics component. You can go for the you can say floating beds you can develop, over which you can grow the crops, right? So many things, many modification has been carried out, market available. Even it is so common practice nowadays that you can develop at your own. You can take a bucket, you can cover with thermocol, and you can develop uh, a holding place for your plants, and you can grow it very easily. When you can utilize your bottles also for this purpose. So you can see that there are different techniques that are being used, right? Yes, if you are going up to the commercial level, there are certain things which are very much important. It is a If you are going for automated kind of system, control kind of system, so all advanced level hydroponic system will need a high capital investment. Obviously, a trained manpower is required for the purpose of handling all these activities, right? Training, knowledge, skill, education for the person who is handling it, that crop, knowledge about the crop that are being grown. So these all things are very much important. Market trend is also, because once it is blood, obviously it has to compete with the crops which are grown under the field conditions. So that is also important. So mm, insect pest and disease management, because the although hydroponic system is preferred due to one another reason, that it can have a lesser biotic kind of a stress, lesser chance of disease occurrence, or because it is not under the direct contact of the soil. You are using media that is sterilized. So, but even after that, there is a chance of occurrence of disease or movement of disease other than the soil as a media, either water or air. So that for that purpose, you must have the proper disease management practices, your knowledge of pest management practices, right? So these all things, how you are able to control the climate, these all things are very much of importance. So if we are going with this hydroponics system, obviously many benefits have been reported in comparison to the open field condition or soil based cultivation, in comparison with the hydroponics conditions. So obviously a better controlled environment that is available, right? Uh, Yield prediction, growth prediction will be relatively easier because it is not being influenced by the uh, climatic fluctuation. Budgeting process is relatively easier, right? So root growth and plant growth is balanced, and at the same time water saving, which is one of the very much important part. Obviously, another thing is the nutritional availability, because the plant is in direct contact with the nutrient through the roots. Rhizosphere is in the enriched with the roots, with the nutrients. So it is advantage is that the plant roots are nutrient uptake is not being hindered by the other component complex formation or fixation of the nutrients. So uh, if balanced nutrient is being used, the plant will take it properly. You are going to give at a frequent level. You are going to provide it as a regular level. So you will be benefited with the balanced nutrient supply. Obviously, it is going to save and prevent water loss, uh, that are mostly in form of runoff, in form of evaporation, that all things in the normal cultivation. Here it is a very big saving of water, even more than the drip system. So obviously microbial diseases, especially those diseases which are connected with the soil, but you are going to saved from at least one type of diseases which are being spread through the soil. Right? You have to think only for those which are air, even it is in control condition, properly maintained, then that challenge also going to be con- uh, controlled. If you are using properly sterilized water, tested water, then water source as a disease will also be checked. So if you are going to check all these three sources and obviously the movement of the individual or uh, utilization of the uh, you can say instruments. So if these all things are being properly checked, I think there will be little or rare chance of getting damage through the disease occurrence. Obviously, the another important thing is the labor. When we are growing into the field condition, it needs a high level of labor for the even weeding or other intercultural practices, which is lesser in comparison in the hydroponic system. And obviously, the pesticides requirement, insecticide requirement, is fungicide requirement will be lesser, so your crop is also going to be relatively safer than the other than the soil-based cultivation, right? If you are using a greenhouse conditions or protected conditions, obviously it is going to be more beneficial, and you can high-tech houses, so you can grow crops year round. So this is only feasible if you are going for the high-tech polyhouses or high-tech greenhouses where you can control temperature, gaseous composition, moisture, humidity, everything. Then you can grow crops year round. There are different types of hydroponic system. I'm not going to deal one by one at all because these are very common terminology. From here, I can discuss some research work done by our students that will be useful. So one major area that work where water is being utilized as a mist, specifically termed as a aeroponic system. So in that aeroponic system, uh, we know that the mist, the nutrient solutions are being provided through the mist over the root surface. These are going to be uh, adsorbed over the surface of root hairs. From there, they can be taken up by the plants. So in one of the research where three varieties have been evaluated, Kufri Jyoti, Ras, and Kufri Khyati, under the different date of planting and different plant spacing under the aeroponics conditions for the production of mini tubers. So it was reported that plant growth parameter of Kufri Jyoti was better under the uh, different spacing or different dates of planting. So it was observed that the growth performance, either plant height or either plant spread or root length or root. So these parameters were able to be better for the Kufri Jyoti. But when it came to the productivity based parameter, whether the number of roots, right, or number of days taken for the root initiation, or you can say number of mini tubers uh, harvested. So in that all cases, it was observed that uh, Kufri Khyati was reported to perform better, and somewhere Kufri Kupras were also closer to that in these terms, in the particularly in terms of when we see the date and especially. So the Kufri Khyati followed by Kufri Kupras have responded better in terms of the productivity based parameter, because we know that for potato, root components are more important in comparison to the above ground components especially. So here the root numbers you can see that was higher in case of Kufri Khyati. And you will observe another in terms of date. If you will go for the date of D1, D2, D3, D4 means at the 15 days interval in the October, November. So that was reported that particularly day 4 has later planting has resulted in lesser growth. Early planting has resulted in better growth. When in terms of plant height, plant spacing, root length, it was taken care, right? But when root number was taken care, again, rooting parameter, then it was reported root number was greater in case of the later planting, as well as number of mini tuber also was greater into the later stage of planting. Similarly, in terms of spacing, wider spacing has resulted better growth, better root numbers formation. So what was the outcome? That wider the space, more will be the growth, more will be the root growth also, and number of roots also, number of mini tubers also will be better. And the second is earlier the planting, more vegetative growth, later the planting, delayed the planting, more number of roots character, especially the number of mini tubers, number of mini tubers per plant, number of total yield per plant. So these all factors you will see that here in terms of variety, Kufri Khyati performed better. Kufri Pugraz performed better. These two have been performed vis-a-vis, right? In terms of yield side, Kufri Pugraz has given better balance. So you can see that the number of mini tuber formation was higher side in the Kufri Khyati, but total yield was better in case of Kufri Pugraz because of the size, because that size was very much important factor in which grade can which type of tubers have been harvested. So Kufri Pugraz have been responded to provide larger uh, you can say potato size, and therefore they were given better yield. However, Kufri Khyati has given more number of tubers, but you can get that lesser number of lesser size was relatively lower. You will see that here uh, in the different grades category. So you will see that Kufri Khyati and Kufri Pigraz have been performed little bit at par, and they have given better outcome. And when it comes to the spacing, obviously you will see that the spacing at the wider resulted in the more growth, resulted in better root numbers. When we come to the date, days, obviously days, as we go for the delay, this delay has resulted in more number of, you can say, tubers, better yield, right? Uh, and required lesser number of days to start the first picking, right? So this graph is for the first picking. And when we gone through the analysis for the clustering, we observed that Kufri Jyoti has given a separate cluster, while Kufri Khyati and Kufri Pukras have resulted in a common clusters. You will see that they are overlapping, and they are overlapping with the characteristics, especially the number of mini tubers, total yield, and while the Kufri Jyoti is being overlapping with the more vegetative growth. So, economics point of view, what is that? Kufri Kwati and Kufri Pukras will be far better to develop mini tubers that can be utilized for the seed production. That can be utilized as a seed for the further production by the farmers. And this paper was published in Potato Research. Uh, uh, the first author is the student who has done PhD in that, and rest. Then the another area was related to nutrient film technique. Now this is the where water circulation is being carried out. We will see that grow trays can be utilized, or even you can utilize the pipes where you can add the cups for the growing plants. The roots that will fall will remain suspended in water solution. There will be pumping system through which the nutrient solution will be pumped into the pipes or the tray, and there from there it can be circulated and will be drained out. So this is another research work. It has been accepted for the publication. Will publish very soon in Applied Food Science Journal. So this the whole hydroponic system has been converted into three blocks, and all these blocks having four rows itself. And what was the observation that we have gone for evaluation of 12 genotypes for specifically the hydroponic cultivation. And it was reported that in terms of maximum growth parameter, whether plant height, plant spread, we will see that Winter Dawn, Sweet Charlie, and Winter Star, these have performed better. Camarosa is most commonly grown, but the performance was better. And obviously, when we gone for the flowering and fruiting characteristics, so again, these genotypes have resulted in a better outcome, including some more genotypes that have been added in this category, especially Rania has given a good result in that. Flavia was also given a good result in that. So more genotypes have been, Nabila also have been added for better performance in the flowering level. Means their growth was lesser, but the flowering was reported to be better. When it comes to the yield attributes, yield and related attributes and uh, quality of the strawberry, uh, then what was that? The outcome was uh, more aligned towards the Grania, who was reported to perform better in the hydroponic system. Some other genotypes like Winter Dawn and Sweet Charlie they were closer to that. When path analysis was carried out, so it was reported that specifically average berry weight and average yield per plant was more aligned or directly affecting to the average yield per plant. As this is two level of path analysis. Level one, when it was done with the primary attributes, means the growth attributes with the uh, primary primary, you can say, yield related attributes, and the primary yield related attributes with the second level of mapping with the yield directly. So when principal component analysis was carried out, I am just reflecting only one important point here to highlight the major outcome. You will see that the clustering of varieties, in especially in the C figure, you will observe that they, uh, there were totally four different clusters, and you will see that 2 and 9 they have been reported. 2, 9, 11 they were reported in the same cluster, and they are totally different with the rest of the clusters if you will observe it. And the same thing in PCA biplot, you will see that 2, 9, 11 have fallen into the same quadrant, and that quadrant is coinciding with the variables that are related with the yield related traits, especially the average berry weight and you can say the estimated yield. So this you can see that based on the uh, yield related aspects of strawberry, you can say that 2, 9, and 11, specifically 2, 9 are more effective. You will see that they are having uniqueness because they are away from the origin. So you can see that these two genotypes have been relatively performed better. Where 2 reflecting the Rania and 9 reflecting the Winter Dawn. So they have been given better result in terms of when yield related attributes are taken care, right? So this the another work was related to that previous work was that is yet to be published. It has been accepted. The another important thing is the application of food. Here now, how these things are now going to be next level. Now, hydroponics are being integrated with the vertical farming system and further provided with the artificial full spectrum light, right? So here the strawberry plants that are being grown are having growing media as perlite, vermiculite, that combination, and has resulted in better some sands also. So has resulted has been supplemented with the nutrient supply added into the water tank, and have been supplied with the artificial full spectrum light on the different levels. And these were the labels that have been taken. Fourth label as a top level. So in one complete setup, no artificial full spectrum light was provided, while other, the third, second, and first level were provided with the 2 hours, 4 hour, and 6 hours of light. So making the total light intensity near about the 200 micromole per second per meter square. So this is what was resulted that it was observed that the 2 hours of light at third level and 4 hours of light at second level and 6 hours of light at first level, they were providing this light hours has enhanced the actual level of their light intensity, and this has brought up to the at the par like third level you will see that 203 to 204, and it is now up to the fourth level, top level, which is in direct contact. This is has been done in outside condition, so it's in direct contact with the sunlight, and providing the light up to a little bit 2 hours has sufficient to bring this level in bring the intensity level of T5 up to the closer to the T1, which has resulted in better outcome. So why it is when you are going to the vertical farming system, then the lower levels are getting lesser light, even in outer conditions also. So the lower levels are getting lower light intensity. So you need to balance the light intensity for the better aim. So this was published in Journal of Applied Biology and Biotechnology, and it has indicated the supply of artificial full spectrum light for the strawberry, which is preferably grown under the winter condition when the light intensity is relatively lower, even in the natural condition. So the research has been published in form of the outcome that we must have to provide light intensity for at least 2, 4, 6 hours, depending on the lower downward levels. You need to provide this artificial full spectrum light so that it will get sufficient light and will give better yield. The another research work that was related to again uh, outdoor condition cultivation under the vertical farming system, and again it has proposed a utilization of 2 hours of light to 6 hours of light up to the different level from third, second, and bottom level for the purpose of the better productivity. The another research work that was done for the indoor condition. Now, indoor condition again, light intensity becomes more critical, more important. So, for the indoor conditions, uh, the same work has been proposed, the same work has been done with the different light intensity, because the indoor conditions will have only that much of light which will be available from the windows if there are. Otherwise, there will be no at all scope of the light, right? So this work has proposed that nearly 6 to 8 hours of light must be given to the every level to get better yield or better productivity of the strawberry under the vertical farming system, where where crop has been grown under the hydroponic supply. So these were the some research work which are being regularly carried out, and uh, and more publications are in the pipeline which will come for this because the work has been done. And the overall experience on this all research is to transform these normal or conventional production practices into the advanced level production practices that can be done under the urban horticulture system. And you can grow your crops with supply of uh, hydroponic system under the purpose of this all research was that you can take the hydroponic system, which will be easy to manage at the house level. You can grow vertical farming system, which will be easy for you to grow crops in the small space available with you. And the third, supply the light proper amount so that you can grow fresh crop in your at your home, even you are residing in the complete urban setup. So this is all for the hydroponics, which is at the current era, which is important for everyone. So uh, thank you very much. And so if there is any kind of